Hello, hi, and welcome. I'm the one who writes, aka That Cat Who Be Writing, and today I want to talk about road trip journal ideas. Eagle-eyed viewers might realize that this particular journal is the one I took to Washington back in November. So it's journal 156. Ho season. I'm sorry, I kind of forgot I named it that. But yeah, I was going to Washington, specifically Seattle, and yeah, really close to Forks. And I was on the road trip when I kind of came up with this idea. So I wrote down all the ideas. And this month, well, I guess it just passed because now technically it is May 2nd, 2026. But in April, I had a lot of trips. Basically, at the beginning of April, I had a creative writing festival that I went to that was amazing. I always get so many ideas from that festival that I feel like that I shouldn't have any other trips planned in April. And then I always take vacation time to obviously like attend the festival, but I think I need to take more time after the festival just so that I can like write down all those ideas. I still haven't written down all the ideas. I had a lot of poetry ideas. That's mainly like what's read there. And it was amazing. It is the best thing ever. Really. I love it so much. So basically, I went to that creative writing festival at the beginning of April, and at the end of April, I went to New Orleans in this journal, which meant that I hopped out of my current journal and did this one. And now I literally have under a week before I'm gone again, out of the state again, and I'm going to my cousin's graduation for high school. It's so exciting. It's so crazy to think that they grow up so fast. Like, what do you mean that like a pause button isn't pressed every time I don't see them? Which like I think they would still be toddlers because I only get to see them at most like once a year. So but I don't know, like would everyone still be happy if like all the young ones are still toddlers? So, with all of my travels that I've done in April and am about to do in early May again, I just have been really kind of like in the mood to talk about road trip journal ideas slash travel journal ideas. And I wanted to also talk about this journal since I didn't road trip to New Orleans. I did take a plane because that would be well a little bit long of a road trip, not as long as Washington was. And I honestly also think not as long as the road trip I'm about to take is. But anyway, I didn't want to drive it by myself, especially with my Achilles tendon injury. So plain it was. But I thought this was a perfect time to finally talk about the road trip journal ideas that I had. So let's hop into it. So, the ideas that I wrote back then is pick out a journal, jump out of your current journal if you must. Basically, what I'm talking about here is let's use this one as an example. This one looked very Washington-esque to me. Like it kind of has like the blue filter of like Twilight. So that's why I picked this one. I don't think I jumped out of a journal. I think I finished them pretty like quickly. So there was no jumping required for this particular one, but there was some jumping required for this journal that I went to Louisiana in. So I did hop out of this journal, which is 168, and the reason why I hopped out of it, even though they're relatively the same size and it looks very cute, it's very like, traveler-esque, is because this is the journal that I was challenged by my brother to write from my cat, Delilah's point of view. Obviously, if I'm not in the same state as my cat, it's kind of hard to write down her point of view. I had an idea to, here's the challenge, but I had an idea to ask my cat sitter to kind of like write down what Delilah did when they were like watching them and stuff like that. And honestly, the trip was kind of a whirlwind and I totally forgot to ask that. Um, but that's what my mom did when I went to Egypt. She bought a journal that it was completely on her own idea, and she wrote all 12 days while I was gone from my cat's point of view as she watched my cat with my dad. So that was amazing. I thought this was funny. It says, or whatever you want, it's your gift. So I got this journal years and years ago, and this year as I was working from home because I'm injured, I thought, hey, I should probably write from my cat's point of view, because she's turning 15 this year, and I think that that's amazing. And I'm not even one whole signature through it, but look how many days I was in it. I do need to add a 23 right here. So when I went to Louisiana, I decided to jump into this one. This one I'd already kind of put some things in that wouldn't fit in journal 167 and 166 while I was in them. So, and this was actually like the perfect travel size. I feel like it wasn't too chunky. This notebook, I believe we got from like Dollar General in like the early 2000s. I'm talking no later than 2007. I'm thinking around 2005-ish is like when I got it. As you can see, there's like a whole collection of these journals, and I got this one. And when I was younger, I used to write down what I thought were really cool jokes. I did reread all the jokes. Some of them I don't even get. So I feel like, that's like up to par. And also, I did not write down the jokes that I remember from like high school and stuff. So obviously, I didn't keep up with it, but I'm very close to finishing it. We have this much left, so not that much, and we've written in this much. And I feel like that she's chunking up pretty good. She's not too thick. And I'm just so glad that kind of like a old journal gets to be honored in that such a way. Literally yesterday was like the first time that I even decorated it at all, and it's kind of lackluster decorating, if I'm being honest. Maybe I'll find some stuff to like zhuzh it up or whatever. Jazz it up. Jazz it up is good because it was in New Orleans. But like on the plane, I felt like that it was a really perfect size to pull out and like write in than like even compared to like this size of a journal. So just a really small notebook. Again, got it from like a Dollar General like store. I feel like I'm going on and on and on about like a travel size journal when they literally make travel journals. And I know a lot of people talk about like, I think the Hobonichi travel journal and stuff like that. For the record, I've never used a journal in that size. So this is like the closest I've done while traveling. So maybe that's why. And like also maybe that's why this one that's kind of made for travel is like that. And I've been able to stick a lot of things in this one and it hasn't even chunked up. But like I said, I'm only in like not even through the first signature. But anyway, so pick out a journal that is going to match your trip, right? Like this one, I picked it out because it was Washington. If you watch my channel, you know that I have a lot of blank journals that I use for travel specifically. And while I was kind of looking at them for my New Orleans travel journal, I realized that a lot of them are kind of foresty mountain vibes because that's typically what I like. And I didn't have any kind of like New Orleans swampy or even gatory vibes. There is a journal that I could have used if I thought to buy it in time for it to arrive in shipping. But it's okay. I really like that I did this one. It's kind of like, unassuming, but then yet it holds like this really cool trip. So I think that it's just, like it makes this one all the more special because it holds jokes from when I was a child. And then it also holds this like my first time ever going to New Orleans. So that's amazing. Here I also say leave room to decorate with the travel stickers. So with this one, I didn't even decorate it. Like I said, I decorated it yesterday, so that was after I got back from my trip. And in this particular journal, I did decorate it beforehand, and that's why I wrote down that rule, because I was like, man, I would have liked to put some of my stickers here. So, and learn from my mistakes, basically. Because I still have a lot of my Washington stickers and now I'm kind of not sure what to do. Like, do I hang on to them in case I ever go back to Washington? I would love to go back to Washington, but who knows when that is going to happen. I still have some of my New Orleans stickers as well, but I am thinking about putting them in my next journal, which here's a sneak peek, I guess, that I'm thinking about moving into. Just because, oh, these are just Pokemon cards. Get those out of here for right now. That's for a different project. just because I don't think I'll be able to finish talking about the trip in this journal. I'm really trying hard to write about the trip. Um, in that journal, I don't want to repeat the Egypt trip where like it's been pretty much like 2 years. Hello, Delilah. And I still have yet to finish writing about it. Hey, honey, you're in my light. Thank you. You could be right there if you want. Okay, so and then also I wrote down planned playlist of music. So let's say like, for New Orleans trip, if I had a playlist, which I didn't, I just listened to an audiobook on the plane ride. I think Delilah really just wants to be in this. Um then I probably, if I like had a playlist for New Orleans, let's say, I would oh no. Uh, I would probably do like Hadestown because I know that, that took some inspiration. Obviously like a lot of jazz, a lot of just like anything that I thought screamed New Orleans, and like maybe for the Washington trip, probably the Twilight playlist just for laughs and giggles, and definitely because I went to Seattle, I did the Hello Seattle by Owl City song, and I actually did that my last night in Seattle, and I caught a shiny hoo hoo or hoot hoot on and I caught a shiny hoot hoot on my last day there, and I named it Hello Seattle because it was a shiny hoot hoot and it's an owl Pokemon, and Owl City is, yeah, it was just amazing. I loved it. I also got a shiny in New Orleans and a 4-star in New Orleans. All right. So Delilah has redacted some of this. Let's see. Can I get this from you? You can stay, but I just want this. Okay, I have list out all the cool things there is to see. So for New Orleans, like I didn't do that for the Washington trip. I was going with two other friends, and it was mainly their trip. Um, Even though I don't think that they would have said anything if I was like, hey, I want to see this. Actually, they told me later on that they were like, hey, you should have said that you wanted like boba in every single state because we drove through so many and we could have detoured to like get you boba. But we were all on such a tight schedule that I just didn't want to bother anyone. And I was just quite honestly like happy to be there, you know? So for New Orleans, I did like write down my to-do list, which I got a lot of it done. So as you can see, um, and there's also some things that like I didn't even cross off yet. Like I did see a live alligator. I actually held one. It was really cool. It's part of a research program, and I did find a wild poet to write me a poem. I saw them in Philadelphia when I went there, and we were waiting on an Uber, so we didn't have time to get a poem, but I did get a poem from this person, and this is the poem that they wrote me, and it was on a typewriter. It was so amazing. I was just so amazed, A, that they didn't have social media, B, they didn't even have a smartphone. They had a flip phone, which I was like, you are a true artist, sir. Um, and like, but also like I gave them the prompt for writer. I think next time if I find one, I'm gonna give them the prompt for journaling. I think that would be really cool. Or maybe just journal. And and then they just like popped out this, and it's such a good poem, and they like just wrote it on the spot. And I was like, no, you are a true artist, a true poet in all regards. I just absolutely love that. So anyway, write down all the cool things that you want to see slash do while you're there, and then leave room for your actual playlist. Okay, so I apparently misread it, but it's okay. Delilah was sitting on it. So, like, what playlist did you end up doing? Especially if you're going with friends, because, like, basically when I went to Washington, there was three of us, and we were all, it was like a 30-hour drive for us. So we all had like 10-hour shifts, basically. And so the driver basically got to pick whatever music we were listening to. So I got to see, the music that both my friends listened to, which was amazing. So like, what was the playlist? Do you like any of the songs that maybe like you were listening to? And then if you're flying solo like I was for New Orleans, maybe like what are the songs that are playing in the airport, if there are any, what are the songs that were playing like in the Uber or the taxi or, you know, the transportation, what songs did you hear? In New Orleans, I actually heard the jazz version of You Are My Sunshine, which is the song that my grandpa sings. And it was so amazing, and I got to record it. I was on a walking tour, so I didn't get to stay and record the whole thing, but I recorded enough, and I was very excited about it. All right, and then planned itinerary, no matter how vague. So even if it's just like drive there, get to hotel, sightsee, like I think that's really cool. And then write down what you actually did. I still need to do this. So I was visiting a friend in New Orleans, and so they had an itinerary that they're actually writing down on, like they had a planned itinerary, and then we have the plan or the itinerary that we actually did because my plane came in a little bit late, so we were already running late by the time that like boots hit the ground. So I think that's really cool, and that's what I also need to write. I'm writing down kind of like all my experiences, but then I'm going to go back and write down exactly what day it happened. I know that there's a lot of people who go on trips and they're so good that they still journal every day. I typically pass out as soon as I get back to like the hotel or like wherever I'm staying. That's what happened in Egypt. That's why I still have to write about the Egypt thing. I was so bad in Egypt, I didn't even bullet point it. So I'm having to go back and write about Egypt using my pictures on my phone and my memory. So, be better than me, basically. So I think that'll just be so cool. And then I also have space for best photos. This is one thing that I've been kind of thinking about is I don't really print off photos for like any of my trips to put in my journals. And I'm kind of thinking that I need to. Like, it doesn't even need to be like a printing service where you get like a glossy photo. It could just be like my printer and be like, this is what I'm talking about. Because I know there's probably certain things in here that I would have to go like, what exactly am I talking about? Like, you know, the Longhorn or the Pronghorn Lodge. Like, what is that? What did it look like? Especially since I'm not really describing it while I'm there on the trip because I've already seen it and I have photos. And then here, like I'm talking about going on a mule carriage ride. So like, what did that look like? I'm talking about holding an alligator. What did that look like? Just those kind of things. I feel like those are really more for me. I feel like a lot of people already do that, but if you're like me and you forgot, then there you go. If you have a Polaroid camera, that would be so cool just to like put the pictures in. I think that would be cool. I don't know how they would handle with you writing on the next page. So, I don't know, maybe like put a postcard to like protect it or something, kind of like this. So here are the postcards I bought myself from New Orleans. So cute. Some other things that I don't have on this list is like your packing list. So how many days are you going? How much clothing items do you need? Like t-shirts, pants, all that stuff. What else are you packing? Like headphones, different types of shoes, different outfits. And for this journal, I know that this started off as a road trip journal idea, but since I flew for this journal and it wasn't really a road trip for me, I had my flight schedule in this as well. I'm always scared that I'm not going to be able to charge my phone and have my boarding pass. So I print them off and I print off the confirmation code and I always put them in, and then I also put on top the date. So I put the date that I was leaving, and then I also put when I need to be at the airport. If you're confused why it says leave at 5:40 and then be at airport by 6:40, it's because I wanted to leave my house by 5:40 so then I can make sure that I was there on time. And then also I just like put all that stuff in there. I also did it for my return flight as well. I also have them print off the tickets as well, just in case, like, you know, my phone and all that other stuff. And as soon as I'm done, I always have tape on me. So I literally brought this tape. It was actually like the roll was running out, so I brought a spare roll as well. And as soon as like I turn in my first tickets and they scan it, then I bam, put it immediately in the journal. So then I know that I'm not going to get confused with like tickets and stuff. I like to wear like leggings on planes so I can have my phone on one side of my leg and then my ticket on the other side of the leg, and then I don't have to worry about like my phone like falling out of my back pocket because I have a quite a large phone. So if you're flying, those are good ideas. Also put your packing list. And then I also put down kind of like the gift ideas that everyone wanted. I wanted if there's like I asked everyone if there was anything that they wanted. Some people didn't get a chance to answer me in time, which is okay because like we all have like busy lives, and I ended up just kind of grabbing them whatever I thought looked good. And so I did like have a list of like gifts I wanted to buy myself and gifts that other people wanted me to get for them. So that is because when I very first went on my huge trip by myself, actually I was in a group. I was in a high school group. We went to Germany. I was so stressed out about buying everyone's gifts because I did not write it down in my journal. So I was so stressed out about remembering what everyone wanted and getting them gifts at like everything because I didn't know that they just wanted like gifts from Germany. I thought they wanted gifts from every single city, that I did not buy myself anything except for one book at a castle that is written in German. And I came back and I was just so flustered. Everyone was like, "What did you get yourself? What did you get yourself?" And I was like, "This book. This is it." And they're like, "Did you want anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, I wanted this like swan thing." But I was so stressed out. And also, I was on a tight budget that I was like, I didn't think I could afford it. And then obviously, everyone was like, "Oh, that was not the purpose of us like saying, oh, hey, I want these things from like Germany." So I'm not blaming them whatsoever. I think it was just I was ill prepared for leaving the country and going on a big trip by myself and just all that other stuff. So that really helped me, especially with this tiny little notebook. I just can't get over how like tiny and travel sized it was. Is because like it was so easy just to pull out in like the gift shops and be like, okay, I got this person, this person, this person, this person. Like magnets. So like a lot of people wanted magnets. And so I was like, wait, I know I bought 3 magnets already, but like who are they for? And checking them off and things like that. And then also at the bottom of my list, I wrote down, I named names, and so I'm not going to show you. But at the bottom of the list, I wrote down what I wanted, and I got most of the items I wanted. The only thing I didn't get was I wanted a journal from New Orleans. I saw a cat journal, but it didn't give off New Orleans vibes. So I was like, no, I can go without it because, you know, obviously I have a lot of journals. But I did get a lot of other things. Like I collect Pokemon cards, and I got specific Pokemon cards from a New Orleans Pokemon card shop that my friend that I was visiting was so graciously willing to take me to, even though she was not partaking in getting the Pokemon cards. And I got boba from Louisiana, so that's another state I can check off. Also, I obviously got myself, you know, like stickers from Louisiana, like these guys, for my journaling, and I got myself postcards as well. I am trying to get better at buying like useful souvenirs, like the Pokemon cards. I'm gonna collect them anyway. It would be really awesome if they have like a certain story to them. And I've been watching a lot of like Deep Pocket Monster, if you guys know that channel, and like it's just really cool that they have like a lot of stories with like their Pokemon cards with their community and stuff like that. Obviously, I don't have like a big Pokemon card community. For me, I just have my friend group, which is like honestly like all the community I need. But like now I can have like stories attached to it, and like if I'm gonna buy it anyway, why not have like a cool story? And then the stickers and stuff I use for journaling. So like practical souvenir items, not just like junk that I'm just gonna have to like either display on my walls or just hold. Like there was a Mardi Gras mask that I thought about getting, but I wasn't there for Mardi Gras, and I didn't technically need the mask, so I didn't get it. And remember, because I made this mistake so many times, bring enough pins. I cannot tell you how many times, actually, I can. It's happened to me twice. I can rub 2 nickels together if I had a nickel for every time this has happened. But remember to bring enough pens. I have gone to my grandparents, and they don't have a lot of like black ink pens. They're just, you know, they're not journalers like I am. They just use it for just random miscellaneous things. And blue ink satisfies them just well. And I literally, I think went through 13 pins, um, where they didn't work. It wasn't like I was writing through 13 pins, but I did write through 2 pins that obviously were like kind of close to dying while I was there. So always remember to bring enough pins. I always write it on my packing list. So remember that. Thank you for sticking around for this very chatty video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other ideas for road trip journals. I'm very excited to hear them. And also, like, what are your things that you like to make sure that you do on road trips if you're a journaler, or even if you're not a journaler? Put in the comments below. I really like to know about it. And also, let me know in the comments below if you think it's acceptable to put stickers from a trip that happened in one journal into the following journal, or do you save them until you go to that place next? I've been saving my Washington trip stickers. I've already wrote all about the trip. I still have to write about the Louisiana trip, so I still have the Louisiana stickers. I could just like put them just to use them up in this journal, but I don't really feel like it. I feel like that they should be displayed in front, but they're so big in this journal, so tiny that they can't. I showed you the front, so I'll show you the back. This is the only sticker that kind of like fits because I have a start and a finished for books. Like I haven't even wrote down all that I did in the journal. Like I said, my journaling's kind of all up in the air. My ducks are not in a row when it comes to journaling right now. So like I could finish talking about journaling or my trip in this one and use these stickers to decorate, but obviously this one is the Mandalorian themed. So like I already have stickers and stuff, decorations I could put in this one. And if you're wondering why I'm jumping into a Mandalorian themed journal, it is because, like I said, I am recording this on May. It is because I'm recording this on May 2nd, and in 20 days from now, the Mandalorian and Grogu. Mando and Grogu? I don't know the actual name of the movie, but the movie for The Mandalorian is coming out. And so I'm thinking that I will be in this journal writing it, but I also have this journal to continue writing in. I think I'm just going to have to do them alongside each other. I have been noticing that I've been very reflective, and it's kind of hard to be as reflective when I'm talking from like the point of view of my cat. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me know in the comments below what you think and how you operate when it comes to road trips or just travel journals all together. And thank you so much for watching, and remember to always find an excuse and a reason to write, especially if you're traveling somewhere. Bye-bye!